Excellent. All right, guys. Hopefully this goes well, because I've had crashes all day, and I'm just gonna like make sure everything is going fine and dandy. Okay. All right. Let's get this started. All right. Hopefully this works. All right. One second. Ready? Crash free. See, what happened is I downloaded Battlefield 2024 and it wanted me to do secure boot, you know? So I enabled secure boot and it messed everything up, I think. But, so I don't waste my time, I'm gonna put this to the test. I'm gonna go ahead and do an onslaught mode and with Serena. And I was very successful with let me see here, Thunder Cage, yeah, electric, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe hammer and anvil. Do I have that fully built? I don't. Holy smokes. Smithery? Oh, that's pathetic. None of those are fully built. I have like thousands of hours. I mean, dude, I'm just telling you, like, after Serena, this you know, guns became like a non-issue. And so I stopped upgrading guns mostly. I only use stat sticks basically. After a while I just started using stat sticks. Holy smokes. Did everything reset? What the hell? Okay. So I can't use a... Is there a shotgun I can use? Holy smokes. What the hell? Well, I don't want to use Last Dagger. Don't want to use Last Dagger. It sucks. Well, let me brainstorm here. What can I use? I know Executor. Ah, that's fully okay. At least that is fine. And we're only doing level 1 anyway, so level 1 I can do that bad. Okay, I can't believe that. I thought I had all those shotguns leveled. So it's basically, it's like a regular Axiom Plains dungeon level of like difficulty. And I hope to see some bunnies in the wild because I haven't seen a bunny in an onslaught mode. It's like everybody knows that like this mode is like, for the most part, quite difficult. You know, if you're not fully built. At first, people were dropping left and right, and but now people are kind of getting the hang of it. Developing strategies, actually using the turrets. You know, people thought the turrets were just like a meme, but they actually do help. They help with the rushes, you know, and so you just got to keep updating them. Okay, so we got really strong descendants actually. I'm actually probably the weakest. Well, I mean, no, in this mode, Serena's pretty strong, but level 2, it goes to like Harris and Dia. Of course I'm gonna do enhanced firearm. Why not? Oh yeah. There's like people realize these things are important. I'm gonna pull an all-nighter, probably. Look at that. It's like Axiom Planes level of difficulty. So like if you're well, I say the dungeon level. I think the dungeons are harder for level 1 at least, you know, of onslaught. Which, you know, which is good because is it me or level 1? Even though you have like less tankier and way less tankier enemies, they somehow like spawn more. This level is as difficult as the old infiltration operations were back in the good old days. Something's going on, but apparently yeah, actually, they're a little bit tankier than you. They're not a... It's still a challenge for most players. But not like this, you know. Okay, so now I am getting guns. So that's what it is. I gotta admit, Serena is actually fun at this stage. Did I just... Alright, let me get some... Oh yeah, multi-hit. We're gonna go with multi-hit. We love her Serena, we do. We freaking love Serena, yes we do. Dude. bullets. We will not fail.
We will not fail.
It's a good time to turn on these turrets. That's what they're for. Big turrets, yeah. I'm not even gonna bring her the onslaught too. as I ran out of ammo. Ooh. Just as I ran out of ammo. That's funny. Yeah, I need a... I haven't played her much, so I need to start... Did any of these have Veil Analyzer? Let me see what's going on. I have Fail Analyzer. Do I have a weak point? I'm gonna, yeah, put... Here we go. Veil Analyzer in here. Yep. Just have Veil Analyzer. Veil Analyzer, yes sir. Can't believe. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna bring this for the heck. There is completed research as after all. Oh, shoot. Shoot. Look good. Okay. Alright. I mean, I might as well. Actually, original. Does a really good job. Alright, now, let's do Serena stuff. Oh, right, we gotta... Dang it, what should I do? Let's go back to Inez. Inez, let's get some Serena weapons, some meta weapons. She could be okay. I'm gonna farm for these weapons.
Magisters are probably humanity's real hope, don't you think?
Skip. Good gracious. And one more. Oh, really? That sucks. Guess I gotta run that dungeon more. Oh, I hate... Weapon grind sucks, man. It really does. So what do I do? Oh, yes. I receive the weapon. I'm gonna go combine it. Normal transmission. No. Good adjustment. I haven't even... Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. So what am I doing? Enhance unique ability. Oh, smack. So we're gonna go with this. Whatever. Okay. do some dailies. See, I was at secure boot bullshit. I didn't really. What time is it? Insane. Wow. What just happened? Okay. Oh, she's taller. Oh, because of the heels. This is looking great. Okay. Let's go and do some... Yeah, let's do some... Agna Desert. Why not? Do some solo. Do some soloing. But where is the I'll see it. Yeah, let's do public, whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't even care because I'm gonna be just doing it for the grind. So which weapon am I gonna go for first? Oh man, I should have. I know I should have like put some cores in these weapons. So, man, I was just thinking. You have to, you know, as you get older, you have to kind of like guard your mental space, and all that really means is that you gotta defend what goes in there and what who you come in contact with, because you know time goes on and like you're gonna be wasting, wasting like your life with the same bad habits that are keeping you like down. And one of the things that really makes things worse is the constant need to have, like some kind of stimulating, medium, like mobile, like smartphones, Twitter, social media apps, just for validation or just for entertainment. Because all you're doing is you're doom scrolling, day in, day out, in between like breaks at your job. You don't even get to enjoy your meal quietly. Think about all that time you are dedicating to, towards having other things inside your brain. It's a very long topic too. I don't want to get too deep in the woods. I want to go down the rabbit hole, how everything's poisonous right now, like as far as dialogue. Since we don't have to meet each other and it can be anonymous, we can even be even more toxic. And it's a lot different than, better for worse, like at the same time, dissident groups can organize and share ideas, not feel like they're gonna have, they're gonna be ostracized for having a brain. And that's good too. There's always, anyways, I don't want to go down. Let's stick to what I was saying. It was basically, when you give your mind, your brain, enough time to emptiness, like empty like silence, so you can like you start gathering your thoughts and start like assessing what why you do the things you do, why you never overcome, why do you fall to the same routines and habits, why you maintain the same toxic relationships. When all you're doing is doom scrolling, and then you go and you listen to some podcasts or content creators, content that's just gonna reinforce your worldview, but at the same time, these content creators. Yeah, I guess I'm a content creator too, right? I live stream, but they're take this with a grain of salt. Is really all I'm saying. You see, they're going to, they're going to feed you something. They're going to feed you some bread, but also some sugar that's going to keep you. And that is rage, How can this, faction of the party or group of people that I don't associate with or I don't, identify with, how can they enjoy what they do, or how can they think the way they do? And but you and us, we're enlightened. We know better. We're smart. Everybody else is stupid. They're stupid. Of course, there's always going to be right and wrong. There's going to be some sides that are going to be wrong, some totally wrong, totally evil. And deluded and delusional. You have to pick sides sometimes. I'm not here to tell you what side to pick on any issue necessarily. But my point is, back to you're watching, you're listening to content that's just designed to keep you addicted, and you just fall back to your old habits. You've been doom scrolling, and then you watch TV. You're listening, you watch TV, and your brain never relaxes, and never starts to have that silence, so you can assess your friendships, the relationships to your family, your job, your self-worth. And that's why a lot of the people that are mentally stable, they're the ones that exercise, because exercise does provide benefits. But one of the benefits that they get into is when they're on a treadmill, unless they're listening to a podcast like Joe Rogan or something, they're in good sounds, and their brain is just on maintenance or autopilot. It gives them enough time to have a eureka, have some silence, have a brain take a break, so you can better understand what's going on around you. How are you gonna know where you're at if you don't stop? You're gonna go through all these detours. You're gonna go through all these redundant avenues. And you never know where you truly are. You never know where it's north and south. If you don't give your brain, your mind, and your mental state, and so that's why I kind of want to be able to achieve that. And it's tough because this is what you start noticing. You start dreading having your phone off when you're you're riding a bike, you're walking or on a treadmill. You start getting angsty, right? Because you're I can't handle this. I don't want to run. I want to confront myself. I need something, I need distraction. I need to listen to something. I need to I want to hear a podcast on whether I should become Orthodox or whether I should switch to PlayStation or should I invest in Bitcoin? Is Trump based? Is Israel totally effing gay? It's just
Give up.
You can never be Zarathustra. You're always going to be some NPC, getting stimulated, just being connected to this, media box, this programming box. which used to be TV, and now it's like you can't escape the screens. We're like under the tyranny of small screens. Stop that shit.
Give up.
Alright, so another thing too I like to point out, it's not even important. You know, it's not deep. But Domino's they need to like install some standards, you know. Sometimes you get a pizza that's like soaked in like, you know, pizza sauce. You know, and sometimes you get hardly any pizza sauce. Just I want some like this goes to every restaurant too. They're always inconsistent. Am I not paying attention? So I can like, you know, what? There you go. Now, let me see here. No. Now I'm gonna be forced. Have I made any progress? Okay. Which one? Golly. Is this even a weapon you can build to crit? Ah, barely. Does it have any crit modules? I haven't even looked at this crap in a long time. Better inside. Oh man. Oh Lord. Almandine is where all the crit stuff is. You know, like, I don't want to add a module class that I might not need. So I'm really contemplating whether I should even continue to do this whole upgrade cycle. I know that, you know, if we're building to crit, I think this is a crit weapon. Crit rate's like really low though. Look at that. Critical damage versus like, you know, skill. Look at that. Of course there's like a base crit, you know. That matters too, right? Let's see here. I could, if you bear with me, let me pull up on my phone. I can just pull up on my phone a build for Wave of Light. Is it Wave of Light? What's it called? Updated wave of, is it Wave of Light? Wave of Light? Yeah. Wave of Light build. It did get buffed recently, and like, did it change how people? Okay. Ornery biscuit. We sold that. I hate it when like content creators are going through like a build and they don't want you to like, they don't want you to screenshot their build, so they're gonna like talk over, you know, like they're gonna point their mouse clicker on the modules, and they're gonna block half of them, so you never can click. Right? It's gonna be like a split second. You have the whole screen just to click, you know, just to screenshot, so you can like, you know, copy. They don't want that because they want you to like stay dialed into their like, you know, stupid rant or whatever, like stupid explanation, like yeah, I get it. I you know, summarize it, you know. But they're like freaking wordy. Oh man, But it always annoys me to no end. And but thank you anyways. Okay, action reaction rifle. Yeah, fire enhancement. So it does need it. It needs at least a lot of almandines. Okay, so yeah, of course I'm stupid. It needs almandine. It needs a lot of them because it's a fire weapon. It's a fire based weapon. And did I put that there, or that already came like that? I think it did. No. Okay, so fire rate up, expanded magazine. Okay, since Inez is not even, I'm just gonna take this off so it doesn't confuse me any further. Concentration priority. I could put that in just so I can remember. That is an A. That's an almandine. All your crit damage modules are going to be under almandine or almandine. Concentration priority. Yep. And what I'm going to do. What else? Let me go to X. Let me just put all these empty modules. She does have that. And fire enhancement. Let me find that. A. Fire enhancement. I'll put that in there too. And what else? Better compulsive impact rounds. X. Why'd I have multi-sites? You know what? That was probably a dumb. Yeah. Action reaction. Action and reaction. Where's action and reaction? Do I even have that up? Yeah, I do. So what do I'm gonna take this out. And fire rate up. Fire. I already have that, right? Fire rate up. Okay, I have that. Compulsive impact rounds. It's fine. Compulsive impact rounds. I have, and then also this. I already have that. Okay, good. What am I missing? Fire priority, concentration priority, better insight. Oh, there's fire enhancement and fire priority. Okay. Where's fire priority? It's an fire and crit are going to be under almandine. Fire priority. Did I'll be like, there you go. There you go. That's, and then let me look up the Eye of Typhoon. What the build is for that. And see, look, I'm already like Eye of the Typhoon build. While I'm doing that, let me go back in case somebody is watching and you want to get a screenshot of Wave of Light. This is the Onery Biscuit build. I just haven't like, you know, I haven't fully loaded all my modules values. Is that right? Build. But while I'm looking for Eye of the Typhoon 2 months ago, Ornery Brisket. Oh, come on. There you you go. I didn't find holy ads. All right, this is another crit, so you do need your Almandine class. Better insight, concentration, priority. That's all good, and it is a fire rate up. Expand weapon charge. I know that's not going to be. Oh, darn it! Wave of light. Okay. Veil analyzer. Of course, we want veil analyzer. Yeah, we're gonna want veil analyzer with the content. All those stupid shields. I noticed that other weapon didn't have a weak point. Oh well, I guess I'll replace it. I'll put veil analyzer and place a fire priority. Maybe I don't know if that's gonna make a difference. That's usually what I'll do. I sacrifice a elemental module for like a weak point veil analyzer because of the shields in the content for the onslaught. You're gonna need that. Okay. Both Malachite. I have both of them. No. Action reaction and rifle for reinforcement. That's loaded. I need the electric priorities. Okay. So that's one of them. It's kind of like it's one of the electric enhancements. What? Oh, I'm already okay. I already got a lot of freaking. I know what I'll do. Where's Veil Analyzer? Okay. Okay, that should give me some. And then I can go back and put electric enhancement. And then also high voltage plasma. Let me substitute that so I can put enough. Stat stabilizer is bullshit. What do I need that for? Crap. Oh no. Okay. I got the 2 electric mods. He actually puts electric priority instead of high voltage plasma. He puts electric priority. This Alyssa guy. It's another guy sometimes look up to for mods. Rifle reinforcement. Did you already get that? Okay, good. Better. Oh, okay. He does have an R. Better what am I missing? Oh, expanded weapon charge. You don't need that if you have Serena. So this is weird. Better insight, better concentration. How many? I'm missing an Almandine, right? Concentration priority. That's what I'm missing. Oh man, of course. And then this. Does this have multi-hit? See what this guy says. Spray and pray. That's what it is. Okay, X. Ultimate modules. Maybe. Yep. Veil Analyzer. Okay, so. I'm just gonna leave this blank. Oh no. How did that work? Let's do this, whatever. That's cool. We'll figure it out. You gotta have incomplete information on that. I didn't find the ornery biscuit bill for this for some reason. Alright, let's continue. So I did Agna Desert already. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay. What was I going to say? I had something on my mind. Yeah, like that Xbox Helix. I wonder what that's all going to be about. A lot of the people, and a lot of people, you know, I think the Sony fans were like concerned. Not all Sony fans. Lots of creators pandered their crowd, you know, to their own bit. They're like voicing concern, which is actually pretty valid. The rumor under Sarah Bond is that the Xbox Helix was gonna be an open system. That's gonna have multiple storefronts. And that's actually straight out of Phil Spencer's mouth too. You know, like they want to like play nice with Steam, and I think Colin Morelli, which I don't compare us very much. I think he's pretty partisan, but he made a good point. That why would just allow any why would you compete with Storefront on your own platform that you spent R&D on? It's kind of like, it's a bad business move. At the same time, the only reason you make that kind of move is you're dealing with the jugular of Sony, and that's not necessarily going to pan out because Sony has like a lot of mind share. And you know, and to be honest, no matter what Xbox does, they're not going to be dead unless they decide to be dead. They're a trillion dollar organization, and they can go many routes. They can like basically offload people into PC. They're still going to be a viable alternative because, to be honest, if you look at my catalog, you know, I don't have. I mean, yes, I have Halo, right? I have Gears of War. I'm an Xbox guy, but I really don't. I didn't care for those franchises for a long time, and I got like the Master Chief Collection. I didn't play the original Halo. You know, like the 1, 2, and 3. I didn't play them original. I played them on the Master Chief Collection because they were on sale. So I was never a guy about exclusives. The only exclusive that ever mattered to me was Mario and Half-Life by Steam. You know, or of course Breath of the Wild. And I did buy a Switch because of Breath of the Wild. Like, I was on the fence. It's like the argument about exclusives has some weight. Like, but here's the thing: I wanted to get a Switch because I like the idea around COVID. You know, I could watch a podcast and like game on my hands. You know, like all in my hands. I can multitask, and like, of course, I was just talking. I was ranting about like, you know, not giving yourself enough mental space instead of being preoccupied all the time and filling up with like mush. But here I am, like, you know, back in COVID. I wanted to face my demons, like pining for a handheld so I can listen to my Joe Rogan. Not for any particular reason. Just like, you know, it's pretty turbo normie shit, you know. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I love platformers. You know, I like Mario, and I did play Ori on Xbox, right? That was a great game. And so I said, I want to look into a Switch, right? I want to look into a Switch, and there's only been a couple of games that really spoiled me. Half-Life, after I played Half-Life, I didn't care for any single-player game, you know, except for Call of Duty. You know, I was playing like sport ball games. I'm like, Half-Life is the pinnacle of like single-player shooters, you know, hero shooter, whatever. I don't know what hero shooter, but because the fact that you just couldn't go in there and just shoot up the place, you also had like an actual story and without any stupid cutscenes. See, have you ever played Half-Life original? There was no need. I mean, there was like a cutscene, not a cutscene, but there was like these like loading screens, and they were very like they were very like wisely put. Like in the beginning, you are arriving on a cart. You're arriving on a cart. It's kind of like electric or mobile, whatever transport out into this underground facility. And that's like a major loading screen, right? It feels immersive because you're like riding in this like this cart on the way to your job. It's just underground, like kind of like Dulce Labs, underground laboratory, right? Where they test like alien material and whatnot. And that's how the game starts. There's no like stupid anime intro where I will ever be your enemy and and I will always dominate you. You'll never rise. Oh, no, I must avenge my father. Something stupid, like, I don't know. I never played a Final Fantasy game, but I imagine that would be like it. I mean, no offense if you like Final Fantasy. I don't want to play games with like 2,500 cutscenes, right? But Half-Life was like, yeah, you're in that loading screen where you're like traveling to the facility, you get to see like, the mechanical robots like move cargo, and then you see workers to the left, and you see like big government, officials riding black helicopters to the right, being rushed to a meeting, and then you're like going through the huge, massive complex, and it's like it's cool because you're probably never in your life gonna like be around something similar like that. You're never gonna be like, you never have access to certain facilities, but Half-Life, for being a 90s game, gave you that feeling like you were like, traversing through a secret underground government facility, and it was like awesome because like you're testing, you're doing all these experiments, and you happen to cause a breach where you basically invite another dimension into our world, and now you're fighting these like interdimensional beings or animals that are dangerous and threat to your life and to the planet Earth. But it's only confined to the underground White Mesa compound, right? Not a dang cutscene, right? Not really. And so you end up like, you wake up, after this failed experiment that caused this total rift and whatnot, you're trying to save the scientists trying to get out of the facility and make it home to the But then, the scientists tell you that the U.S. military, the Marine Recon are going to come and save you. Just stay put, right? And I don't want to spoil it, but it's like a major plot twist, like all of a sudden, things aren't what they seem. And you're basically going to have to be silenced just like everybody else. They don't want the information to get out, right? So now you're fighting, two different parties, factions, aliens and the federal government. And you're getting out of this facility. Like, it's not like some stupid gimmicky zombie game. It's not some stupid, like, biological. I mean, Resident Evil. It's not like it's still protocol. This is good sci-fi, in my opinion. And the mechanics is, like I said, it's not just a first-person shooter game. You're also having to deal with physics. Half-Life, like, you could pick up objects and rearrange them. You could throw objects. You could pick up, like, you could pick up a broken, like a broken console and throw it at an alien or something and cause damage and stuff like that. Then you have to solve problems, like, if you enter into a room and you saw that there was like a wire, like the you know, basically being, it was like water, and there was water, like that was inundating a wire. You know? It was covering like an exposed wire, and of course, you basically had to platform your way across the room, or you know, find the switch box and turn off the electricity. So you just go, you know, just go around. Sometimes you'd enter a room, the only way to, like, you know, basically get out alive is to problem solve. You couldn't just shoot your way out, you know? You have to use your environment. And there hasn't been a game like that ever. It's all like, and it's really cool. I like PvP Battle Style. I like Halo Infinite. I like Halo CE. I like Call of Duty. Whatever. I like all those, like, you know, shooter games. And I don't say they're cheap. I think they are what they are. You know. You might not like them. Whatever. Who cares? I sound like a boomer. But that, and then Ori. Ori was a platformer game, which is like, it was very atmospheric. And it had like the skill tree thing, you know, like Souls games that has kind of, you know, I had like some Souls, like, you know, attributes, Souls like attributes. It had fast travel, it had like this cool maps, it was a platformer, and you know, the art style was amazing, the soundtrack was just breathtaking, and it was just as impactful as a platformer like Super Mario World was, because it had like a really cool it had a cool vibe, you know. And you get, even though it's a platformer and it's not that immersive as like a, you know, behind the shoulder third person whatever, no man, it's just the vibe, right? It doesn't make sense like Mario World, like Super Mario World 3 or whatever. But Ori was just a great platformer. It had a decent story, and really good story actually. And I'm like, I want to play more, you know. I thought that platformers were like, because I was out of the gaming season for a while, and I was like, man, I want to play more platformers that are unique and have like really good art style, and you know, and I don't need to have this like really powerful machine. What the hell is going on here? Anyways, so yeah, like I need this big, powerful machine that plays 2D platformers, and I played like Axiom Verge. I played Iconoclast. I almost finished Axiom Verge, but you know, the controls were so hard with the Switch. You need to play a mouse and keyboard to get, you know, to finish Axiom Verge, because like there's, after a while, there's so many commands you got to use just to like defeat some bosses. But it's an awesome, dude. That's an awesome game. And then I played Dig, you know, Steam Dig. That was a good Steam World Dig 1 and 2. Really awesome, really awesome. I didn't finish Breath of the Wild. Okay, so that's another thing. So I'm like, I need a handheld, right? And I heard the Switch was pretty decent, people liked it and whatnot, and the OLED model was out. And what else? So I was like, I really like these games that kind of have this really cool, you know, really cool vibe and whatnot. And I was watching all these videos trying to like chase that Ori high, just like I had it from Half-Life. I wanted to find like some kind of like, it was even like, I was even open to open world exploration RPGs, right, because of it. And Breath of the Wild, you know, came up, and I didn't know about it, and when I found out about it, it's like, whoa, the soundtrack's great, the music's awesome, the scores, you know, like the sound effects, especially the dungeons, you know, those little like those little dungeons you have to, those pyramid dungeons. Well, are they pyramid? I don't know what they are, but they're those puzzle dungeons you have to complete, right? It was just well thought out, and I played it and I got lost in it, and it was awesome. And that's the reason although I wanted a handheld already and I was already kind of sold on the Switch, the Breath of the Wild, you know, just like cemented it. I need it. So the Xbox Helix, right? If it doesn't have exclusives, like Asha Sharma kind of gave this kind of non-answer about whether that it's going to be open, and people are thinking, look, I'm fine of not having a hybrid console with no exclusives really, because there's a lot of games, like exclusives don't matter in that sense. But if it's just going to be a console that plays PC games, but it's only going to have the Xbox Store, the Xbox PC App Store, I mean, while it has good benefits, doesn't have a lot of games. It's like, it's second to, it has more games than Epic and GOG. GOG and Epic are like littered with like free to play and like, like AVN, adult visual novels, and AI slop. They're pretty like, Xbox, app, because Microsoft, right, has probably the second best library, but it's compete with Steam. And Steam doesn't care. They don't care about profit margins. They'll have a sale all the time. Like they'll have there's one sale after another, and people will just like, because they're like mentally ill, they'll just like buy all these games and have like a 300 like piece digital library backlog that they'll never in their lifetime ever get through, right? Because everything's so cheap. Why not? Like, Devil May Cry is like $5. That's like the cost of like a that's cheaper than a Whopper, for like hours of entertainment. Why not? I'm just gonna buy it, and I may not never play it. What I might like get a girlfriend and whatnot, she might like it. Might have a child one day, and they'll get to savor that game, whatnot. Here's the thing: is like at the same time, the whole exclusive arguments. The reason a lot of people don't ever get to the backlog too is because they're playing games like this. We devote like thousands of hours to grind, and it's like your hobby. It's almost a job, like World of Warcraft. And like, do exclusives really matter? Wow! Look at that. That outfit, see, the anti-gooner argument kind of holds merit. Like, look at that outfit. It's like pretty simple, and it's still like it invokes lust, but it's actually lower appropriate compared to this. It's kind of like, it is pretty silly for you lose immersion, right? I mean, I still bought it, but I can just go to some kind of like what is do I have anything lore accurate? This is as lore accurate as you're gonna get right now out of my collection. Here, just to match the energy, right? And that's another one, dude. Perfect example. I know I'm going off topic, but Haley's OG outfit, it's like it hits all the right notes. It's lore accurate, and it is like it's got appeal, It showcased all the good parts. Well, anyways, so exclusives, right? They still matter if you're gonna try to grow your console base, which if your effort is, Microsoft has to choose, Xbox has to choose. Do they want to make Game Pass their number one? Do they want Game Pass to be the lure, the bait, right? To get more like users? You're still gonna have to need consoles, and consoles need exclusives. And so they're trying to be the jack of all trades, and it's actually beneficial. Like, the thing is like, not everything that is beneficial to people will value. People don't know what's good for them. And then on top of that, even though Microsoft does offer like a better ecosystem and offers way better benefits like Play Anywhere and like Game Pass day one, and it's like a great value because people are like, oh, you're gonna pay $20 and you don't even own the games? You idiot. Like, all the idiots like play Madden, and Madden's on Game Pass. MLB at one point was on Game Pass. I never had to buy MLB. I stupidly bought it the first year because I didn't like realize how it worked, right? But I bought MLB, but after that I stopped buying MLB because why buy MLB if it's on Game Pass? And and then if there's a holiday, I'll buy a bunch of games on sale on Game Pass. Like, I'll like sweep a bunch of deals and make it worth my money. And I'll own those games because I bought them on sale, you know? Game Pass gives you these really steep discounts. It's almost like having Steam, you know, like with a limited library, of course, compared to Steam, even if it's on console. But people are herd animals, and like PlayStation's like you know, like whole modus operandi has been to buy all the gaming media and to basically also, I think they're also paying off a lot of influencers, because if you notice, you go on Twitter, it's like they all have the same script day in after day. It's like they'll focus on one talking point. And it's no different than politics, right? And people are so tribalistic. So like Xbox has to decide, like Asha Sharma has a really hard, it's just a hard job to make, basically to decide, is a Helix, is it going to be a console in spirit, or is it going to be like the ROG Xbox Ally X with the really cool UI? You know, and if it's, some people want the latter. They want the PC that's like they could play your console games. That's like what a lot of people want, but it's really not in Xbox interest. Why would they do that, right? And Colin brought up a good point. And the only thing I could counter to that is like, well, Microsoft is like the largest publisher, and they don't mind losing 30%, you know, to Steam. You know, because like they own a lot of games, right? And so the thing is that Steam doesn't have Game Pass. Oh, here's a good thing. Steam doesn't have Game Pass, but Steam undermines Game Pass because, you know, why? Once you have a big old backlog, you know, you won't spend $20 or $30 for Game Pass just to try a game. You'll just rather just wait for it to go on sale, like, you know, next Christmas, because you have a huge backlog. And that's why also exclusives don't matter. The same argument against Game Pass is also the same argument against exclusives. My gut feeling is that none of that shit matters. I think even PlayStation, like, they're playing this stupid game or like about perception. No more you know, they're playing this like dumb perception game. And so you know, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So all those arguments on like Steam. Look, here's the thing. If Microsoft opens Pandora's box, this is my own theory. If they create, I mean, there's already, people don't know that Steam already has a really good UI, you know, for if you want to put your PC under the screen and just kind of like plug and play. But it's not perfect either. Really? Like, and that's what the Steam machine's supposed to be. You know, it's supposed to be like, once you have that. But here's the thing, the Steam machine's underpowered. But Microsoft is a huge organization. They have experience, right? And the Helix, the Magnus chip, is going to it has the potential to change the game, because the Project Helix, the actual console, is not as important as the chip. The chip could cause a watershed moment, because from my understanding, and this was like a point of contention with Kepler, and it was a Kepler, I think, and Nib 95 was like an idiot, right? He's a moron. That there's going to be third-party OEMs that have not necessarily of the Helix, but they're going to have the Magnus chip. The Magnus chip it unifies console and PC. So specifically with Xbox. So what that means is, like, for instance, Battlefield is always on sale on Game Pass, right? It's always on sale, like, you know, with like it's always on sale at Walmart or or Amazon, but it's rarely on sale digitally for some reason, right? And when you go on like a site like Deku Deals, you'll find that games are like sometimes they sell better on digital formats, sometimes they sell a lot cheaper on like physical formats often. And EA happens to be the latter, where it's like they always have sales on digital. I'm sorry, on physical over digital. Well, my point being is like, the fact that you can buy a console version of a game and a PC version of a game gives you a lot of flexibility on purchasing power. And then the fact that it's you're going to have a console form. If the Helix, right, managed to be this like this console unit, you're going to put it on your TV, right? Let's say it kind of flops, right? But there's going to be a Dell version. There's going to be an Asus version. There's going to be an HP version. Heck, there might even be a Mac version. You never know, right? I don't know how that all works out with how that would work with AMD on a chip, right? But there's, they're going to have Mac's going to have their own thing probably. Where's PlayStation and Nintendo going to be after that? In the mud. Because like if the new generation, right? They start hearing about this product like, yeah, like you can have a PC, you can put it on your TV, or you can just put it on your desk, use it as a desktop, and it's plug and play, right? And you still get to like access OBS Studio and and like your YouTube and multiple screens. You can't do that with console. You can't have dual screen. You can do content stuff. You can edit. You can make videos. You have the flexibility. You can watch a podcast on one screen and then play video games on the other. You can have your own entertainment. You can do it on your TV. You have split screen, whatnot. Why get a console just to play Wolverine? Why cuck yourself out of options just for like cape shit? I don't know. But some people are still gonna like the that they're the. Some people have habit, right? Some people are just gonna no matter how good of an offer a product is. And then there's of course bad faith actors are always gonna spoil or gonna poison the water when it comes to informing the consumer what's good out there. Because the whole the whole argument about platforms and ecosystems, all about it's all 2004, right? Because of Sony's position and Nintendo's position in the market, and how they bought off the media, and how these content creators are just trying to feed into the algorithm that, of course, you're gonna placate the larger fan base. You're gonna tell them what they want to hear rather than the truth, right? And you saw Digital Foundry, they cucked to their audience when it came to some reason where they had to apologize for some reason. What was it? Because they really liked NVIDIA's technology. And then the most soy jack of them all, whatever that fat dude with balding fat dude was it's not one of the balding fat dudes. There's a couple, right? Maybe I'm wrong. One of them was oh no, I actually disagreed, and they were hedging their bets, right? They didn't. I wasn't consulted with. I don't like NVIDIA. It's a bunch of slop. There's a bunch of freaking content creators out there just basically telling you that less features and corporate cocksucking is good for you. And yeah, so just don't listen to them and be open-minded and play what you play, like what you like, and the future's bright. That's another thing too. All right. I kind of went on a tangent, and I can't. I have a one-track mind. I'm gonna hold off on farming. Let me do some Let me do some, like, a couple of rounds of onslaught. And, yeah, let me do a couple rounds of onslaught and then call it a night. I was planning on streaming, you know, from the early evening for 5 hours, but I had some technical issues after I did the secure boot for Battlefield 2024, and it just wasn't meant to be. And finally, I got that under control, and well, we'll do it tomorrow. You know, we'll do more tomorrow, but let me do one onslaught, and depending on how I feel, probably probably continue or not. I don't know. Valby was okay. Let me give Valby a shot. Make sure I have the best. I think that's the best one. I mean, she needs more. She ain't, yeah, dude. This doesn't really crit that much anyways. Huh. What I'm going with what? I'm going with water play. This is the one that does crit. Supply moisture. Yeah, okay, this is the one to go. I definitely need that. And I definitely need Kingsguard Lance. What are you, Kingsguard? Or maybe... Actually, this would be better. Kingsguard Lance. Ah, man. Kingsguard. How much is this really? Let me do a test. I forgot. When you use a fusion skill, it activates some kind of, like, you know, benefit.
Would you like to use the laboratory?
That, like, boosts your crit chance. I think that's what it is with that blue beetle. I have to go to this my niece's birthday party tomorrow at 5, and I kind of want to, like, you know, kind of want to do some things early in the morning. Actually, what am I doing? Okay. Okay, check quantity. Doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, so what is the fusion? Okay. How does this work? No, details. The unique ability is trigger rate. The skill critical hit rate is 115%. So when using a fusion skill, grants self the unique ability arcane energy with a set chance. 100%. So if you use a fusion skill, you get 100% chance you're going to boost your... So what is that? What is the crit? 31.5. If I use... How much is... Okay. It's 100%. I guess I have to use this. Shoot. Okay, so then this goes priority. So I don't... So knowing that... Yeah, this is going to be fine. I don't need that much crit... Oh, crit hit. Actually, maybe that does work. Okay. Alright, I guess I'm going to keep this. I'm just going to roll with this. I don't want to overthink. Let's just go ahead and do a mission. Do a an onslaught mode, level 2. So that's the right order. And And let's go. And I believe that with I forgot what the module I'm using right now, the transcendent module I'm using. If you use if you're standing on like a puddle, you know, whatever the affected area, it also boosts your crit, or maybe your crit damage. I think it's crit chance on your weapon. So that's gonna really help for Thunder Cage. Really, I needed like shitloads of MP. That's the thing, the people that have custom resources, is that right? Like, dude, Xbox in the house. Rep. Alright, we have some heavy hitters. Luna and Valby are shitters though. But the other two are like mothers. They're like freaking ships, you know, battleships in their own right. Glay and Ajax. I know I'm gonna have to go with this. Oh, so they did give more. I like the point. Oh, yes, I do indeed. There's a god. I did put Belial as one. I believe, unless it's Ajax that under their shields. Oh, and I have like excellent cooldown too. I just gotta like. Okay, maybe I need to fall back. Oh no. Okay, let's sit back here. Alright. Could use some. Stunning. See, at least this does like it has a purpose. Shit. Out of mana. Pretty much uses about mana. At least I'll go upgrade, make myself useful and upgrade some weapons. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that guy. Because I know these stupid squads, these like mobs like to ambush from nowhere. Are you freaking serious? Nobody like. What the heck? Oh shoot! Ajax left? What a butthead. Well, it is defense. He'd probably had tech issues like I had earlier. Okay. Alright. It'd be a miracle if we win. So far we kept it at 100. I'm getting, not encouraging. Yeah, Dobby's never hit the prime time. Oh, some HP orbs would be cool. Oh, I guess the dog dick came in. Oh, we're going down. Oh, shoot. Ooh. All right. Good. We're not totally lost. But next level is going to be hell. We still have 100% cover? Oh my god. Glay's pulling all the wood. Wow. Give it up to Glay. What the... Give me some, like, survivability buffs. Okay. That'd be great if they give us enough time to load these turrets. Pieces of shit. Did I bring Hypernova? I didn't bring Hypernova, did I? I did. Son of a gun. Okay. Still 100. That is amazing. miracle. Can't even see anything. Oh no. Oh shoot. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh yeah. That was stressful. Dude, if we make this, I'm gonna make a whole video about this one. This is pretty impressive. That Luna ain't no shitter either. I'm gonna go for survivability here. Yeah, we needed some. Let's try to. Of course. Well, so I should have brought Lepic here. Great, it'd be nice to have a mana orb. Yeah, it would be nice to have a mana orb. Please tell me there's a light at the end of the tunnel. No way. What the? Oh, we lost? Fart. Well, I half-assed it there by sending Valby. That's not my best descendant. I am gonna send Lepic in. Gotta send Lepic. I gotta do a man's job. Gotta do this. Man, what's going on? What is this Steam database thingy now? It's probably like a huge bug, like a system-wide bug going on. Steam. Wow, it's 3554 in game. Yeah, it's midnight. Oh shit, there you go. Alright, this is the last one. And then we're going to bed. Is that Lepic's music? I never noticed it. I just... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh man, look how much left of the bones. Turn Valby. It's like more resourceful. Oh, you ain't going nowhere. You're going somewhere. You thought. Are you shitting me, dude? What is going on? I'm the only one that has like shield breaking abilities. All right, look, I gotta get out.
Be careful and don't get hurt again.
Oh yeah, we're screwed. Forget that. Only one here? Shit. was disappointing. I only beat. It was disappointing. That's all I can say. All right, it's a good night. I'm gonna wrap it up, and that's it for today's stream.